Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, into the second game between NorthernLions and PSL. We had a very, very interesting first game, obviously, with NorthernLions taking the win up against PSL. We're going to the second game, where obviously match point for NorthernLions, or can PSL push to the third game? Joining me once again is Sick. How you doing, man? Looking forward to the game.
Oh, I'm doing really great, and I really enjoyed the drafts of both of these teams because they were so unpredictable and it was hard to tell before what they're going to do. Even the lanes after the full draft was done, you could just tell like one hero where he goes and that's it. And I really like those drafts, and I want to see those drafts again because they really gave me some insight into the teams that they really like to play something different to what's normal here right now, and I did enjoy that. So we have a little bit of a spectator problem right now. I think our Statsman did not really load in.
Yeah, I think our Statsman is having a few quick issue, but there we go, straight back into it. So we will be able to get into the game.
Dire team ban.
I want to see if they ban something different now, how they change their draft up, because PSL did see what NorthernLions is capable of now, and if they pull out some strategy they trained on, or if they just go with their draft again and just try to execute it better, I think they really had a good draft. It was just a little bit greedily played out. I think if you didn't play with the Enigma there, it could work on the laning phase better, but in the late game NorthernLions really showed that their farm advantage just went straight into PSL's face. So let's see what PSL is looking to pick now, because with that Invoker we already have a little bit of a shift in that draft towards what we saw before.
Yep, and we actually don't see the Mirana or Ancient Apparition being contested whatsoever. You do just see the Tinker being banned out, and we're actually going to see the Shadow Demon Dazzle combo being picked up very quickly by PSL. And this is not a combo that you can to be trifled with in any way.
Yes, I was actually expecting PSL to pick that Dazzle last game with that Bristleback. But maybe they're looking into picking Bristleback again, but Dazzle overall is just a super strong hero, and it really can contribute so great to team fights, and it's just overall really strong on the laning phase, on team fights, on wherever he does something. Maybe not the best ganker, that's like his only downside, but the rest of Dazzle is just so great. That's always a valuable pick, even in the first picking phase.
I have to see. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they want to pair up the Invoker, or just to be honest, just how they want to play the Invoker. Very versatile hero and can be played in various different ways.
Mirana.
I think that Mirana was a pick to prevent PSL from getting it, even though the banning phase starts now. It's always a great hero to have. You do not really need a setup hero, as we just saw. You can play Mirana and it works out great even without a setup hero, because that arrows can hit without setup, of course, and overall the Moonlight Shadow gives so much to your team. You can save people, you can initiate out of the shadows. It's just a great ulti overall, and this hero is so well designed. You have an escape. You have a farming tool that Starfall, what is now Starstorm. Holy shit. And we see the Bane banned out because of course there is these combos that exist with Mirana, and they just want to get rid of it.
Templar Assassin.
And we actually see the TA pick coming out, as I think of all the pro games that were happening, TA has a very, very good win ratio, because it's just a great hero. You do not need much on her. Even if you just have a dagger, it already plays out very well. So PSL picking up something really strong, and against Invoker as well, you can survive in the lane. It's not that you're gonna have a super big amount of trouble against Invoker in mid. So TA overall a very strong hero to pick up, and always can work
5 seconds
in whatever matchup. The only bad side is picking it so early. You can of course get a counter or play something against that TA, but you can shift the TA to the safe lane. Even as a farmer, she is a really, really great hero.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, and TA just generally is very, very solid. Obviously, you've got that sort of semi-carry potential. And obviously, going up against, like, I think one of the best things about the TA, obviously, without a doubt, is the refraction and just the ability to just block certain hits and really just sort of put us so far ahead in certain scenarios.
Yeah, the TA certainly can crush a lot of team fights, or she can just make great pickoffs, because right now we see a lot of one-time cast damage spells like the Starstorm, like the Fissure. These are all like they were off the refraction just by one tick each. So the TA is really gonna have an important role in this fightings all over the map already. And if she picks up a dagger, if she goes mid, she's certainly going to be a danger for NorthernLions right now. But they're trying to pick up some tanky characters right now, like the Earthshaker, like the Red King, who can sustain through the TA and maybe just pull her around, see if they can get away and make some team fights happen.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, I like the Red King pick.
5 seconds remaining.
The great thing about the Red King is you do not need to play him as a carry, even as a support. He's a great tool. He can just walk in, stun somebody, and you know he can just die. He's coming back, and he has that massive slow coming out of reincarnation. And it's a great hero overall to just, if it lines up with your strategies, for example, if you have an Earthshaker, Red King, Mirana, aggressive tri-lane, it's gonna be a pain no matter what. But with that Dazzle pickup, of course, it's gonna really hard bringing anyone down, and the Shadow Demon's really defensive tools you have there with these two supports. So aggressive tri-lane or not, with two melees, it's always hard to like outlast it against two ranged supports already. Oh, that's a great pickup.
Dire team pick.
I myself hated playing Slada because I just don't like that hero overall. It's not because his spells are bad, I just don't like playing him. But he brings a lot to his team, especially with that TA. With so much minus armor, we can look into a really early Roshan, we can look into a lot of pickups with double dagger, with the Slada stun, with TA jumping in right after, and then you have that slow from the Slitherine Crush and the slow from the Templar Traps. It's a lot of pick-up potential, but not that much of a teamfight potential, especially against Darkseer, Earthshaker, Invoker. So they're looking to avoid team fighting right now and try to just work around NorthernLions and see if they can get a pick-up here and there. And I like these strategies because it is a lot harder to play than the teamfight strategy, because in the teamfight strategy you just say, okay, we're gonna push this lane, and when they defend we go teamfight. And with that pickup strategy, you have to be creative. You have to smoke around. You have to see where you can get a pick off. Who's alone right now? Where can we make something happen? And I like this style. It's harder to play, but if it like works, then it pays off really good.
Yeah, and definitely, like you were saying, that the team fight of the Darkseer in conjunction with the Earthshaker and the Invoker, it's really nothing to sort of
prepare for battle.
Nothing to. The word escapes me, actually. I have been struggling with this phrase. I will get back to you on that phrase, but we'll just go ahead and introduce NorthernLions. We do have Arctic
ArcTG.
ArcTG, that's what we named him. I couldn't entirely work out. Really struggling with the names tonight. Him taking RTG taking out the Darkseer. We've got Inuyasha taking up the Invoker. We have Mitsa actually on the carry Wraith King. Oh yes. We're gonna see some big hits today.
Oh, I hope so. I certainly hope that so.
We'll see. And then
seconds to battle.
last but not least, we have Sirak taking up the Earthshaker and Flash, who played a farming Enigma in the previous game. Let's see how well he does on that Mirana, and let's see if he gets caught. Actually, he might need to skill that leap. No, same movement speed, there's no catching up available. And now we're going to immediately deward this. We'll throw at the Fissure, but that's just a clarity wasted. But this, Sirak is actually anticipating being able to use this Fissure a lot full clarity to begin with.
Yes, he certainly wants to make some action, and I do not know the name of Disgrace for the entire humanity if he has actually a player name, a nickname, because introducing him is like a little bit strange. But yeah, we have Disgrace for entire humanity on the Slaughter. We have Arzipa, Clown9 Arzipa on the Shadow Demon. We have Mef or M3F on the Dazzle. We have Elms on to the TA, and last is Jiban Zero Forced on Doom with a quite nice set, to be honest. So we have actually the aggressive tri-lane coming out of PSL here. I did not expect that, especially with Dazzle Shadow Demon, but it can work out if you know your timings and when you can hit them. So I'm really looking forward to this lane, but it's gonna be a lot of pressure on PSL to make this work, because with the Shadow, with the Mirana, with the Wraith King and the Shaker up here, it's gonna be really hard, especially with 2 melees against 2 ranged supports. And we actually have a farming Wraith King and a Mirana support, as far as it seems. And we have a nice Fissure block there, and the initiation on top of the Shadow Demon, but with the Slaughter stun and the Dazzle behind that, it's just not possible to catch him off guard here right now.
Yeah, there's so much damage that comes out of the Shadow Wave just so early on. It really is absolutely sort of a terrifying amount of damage to even sort of consider.
On the early levels, it's gonna be a really hard lane for the Doom on the bottom here, because he cannot devour each creep that has a Iron Shell on him. And if the Darkseer actually starts casting the Iron Shell on Radiant creeps, there's nothing that can stop the Doom from devouring. There's like nothing that Doom can do to stop that damage from happening, and he's gonna take a lot of damage from that. And we actually have the initiation on the top lane.
Yeah, initiation onto the Slaughter, and they need to try and get him out of here. They are taking the hits on the Mirana. But actually, meanwhile, the Shadow Demon and Dazzle are just laying hits into this Wraith King, and he's trapping himself into the trees. He's doesn't have enough mana for a Wraith Fire Blast, and they're going back to try and see if they can just get up the Earthshaker. And they actually land the arrow onto the Dazzle. A nice disruption there, and they were actually going to keep him alive, and the Dazzle does pick up that first blood. Really good thinking there from our Zeppa, just being able to keep the Dazzle alive, even through the Sunstrike as well.
Yeah, well, that was a great defensive disruption, and actually they couldn't pursue the pressure on the Wraith King with that creep disadvantage they had, but the Mirana was just on point with that arrow and knew, okay, they're gonna chase the Earthshaker inside there, so I'm gonna arrow someone. And it was a really nice move by the Mirana, but it was just she got caught inside the trees and couldn't get out anymore, and she was relying on that Sunstrike to hit, but that defensive disruption just didn't allow it, and it was a really nice team play there by PSL already, and they got first blood on that aggressive tri-lane top, and that's gonna really help them out controlling that lane.
Yeah, and obviously if that first blood had occurred for NorthernLions, Flash would have been able to sort of just leap out of that sort of precarious situation.
So we actually have a really nice creep score on that Doom on the bottom lane, and Darkseer decided that he's gonna use the Iron Shell on himself to deal the damage to the creeps, which always brings him, of course, very close to the Doom, and the Doom can trade hits with him for now, having or no, he actually cannot. Sorry, I really value a Ring of Protection quite high on the Doom, so I thought he has one, but he doesn't seem to need it right now.
It seems to be working out for me, as he is outlast hitting this Darkseer and sort of keeping himself healthy. I think he picked up quite a few tangos, obviously still sitting on 5 left.
Yeah, I think he had 9 tangos to begin with, that's why he doesn't have stats and armor or whatever he needs. And they're actually smoking up here, NorthernLions on the top lane. I think they're gonna roam towards the mid lane, but with that missing supports and no pull happening, they could call this out. And the TA might actually know of what's going to happen soon. So let's see how this TA reacts to what's coming her way.
Yeah, the potential for the gank is very, very strong between them. The block doesn't happen, the arrow's going to miss. We don't have a cold snap coming out from the Invoker at all. So that's just going to be a walk away for the TA. And the Doom is actually going for a Midas at the bottom lane, so he's just going to try and increase his farm just even more than sort of how much Devour does already.
He is having such a great time that he decided, okay, I can have an even better time. So he's just gonna get the Midas, and he's already level 6, so this Darkseer might be in trouble as soon as Doom gets some mana up. And this Slaughter is actually in a quite bad position right now because these supports roamed back, but with the Shadow Demon and the Dazzle behind, they cannot really engage on them. And
it's gonna hit onto the Mirana. Mirana does have the lead, does have the arrow, throws it into the face of the Slaughter. We're gonna have a nice defensive disruption, but that's gonna force the Mirana back. And yeah, these heroes have still got tangos, they've got clarities, they've got the heal from the Dazzle. They're going to be able to sustain themselves up quite well.
Yes, certainly, and we have this defensive Shyland, which I valued a little bit higher, but PSL really makes this work now with an arrow hitting on the SD actually, with the Sunstrike and the Fisher and the Red King stun not coming out yet.
Oh, what a beautiful crush from the Slaughter going out there into the Shadow Weave. And they're trying to see if they can right it through onto the Wraith King. Another word, and that's a double kill for the Dazzle.
And he's if this Dazzle gets Arcane Boots up, and this Mirana actually being in the right position again, but just having the possibility to leap out. But if they get a Arcane Boots up on Dazzle on this top lane, they can create so much pressure on NorthernLions right now.
Yeah, they have a lot of potential for these heroes already.
Dazzle actually is going towards the stick. I think Arcane Boots would help a little bit more in this situation because this Slaughter needs mana, this Shadow Demon needs mana. Every hero of those on the top lane are really mana dependent. But okay, a stick gives you a little bit more stats, so if you get arrowed, you do not die immediately. But then again, you had the disruption, so I think both can work. I'd like the Arcane Boots a little bit more, but I think it's taste. If you prefer the stick, you just go for the stick.
Oh yeah, definitely. If they want to sort of have more stats, have more survivability, and even earlier on, actually going to cut through the tree, he's going to find the Mirana, start trading blows with him, going to use that poison touch, and it's just going to start wailing away at him.
Thank you. My gratitude.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of farms going out to this team, but it's already got 50 last hits. He's already used that Midas once with almost that max level in Devour. He will have this incredible rate of farm coming out from him.
And he's actually he's picking up Phase Boots, so that means he's going to go into the fighting build. He's not going to go for mech and Arcane Boots on the Doom, which also is I value quite high, depends on your team's heroes. And right now we have the TA in mid who cannot really go for a mech, so having the Doom build the mech together with Arcane Boots can work quite well. But if you want to go for that fighting Doom with, you know, hitting power, it can work out as well. But I think with TA in your team and Slaughter in your team, you could just go for that route of having a mech up, having Arcane Boots. But again, this is just taste.
Dire's top tower
So
is under attack.
And obviously, while the mech would be very, very useful against these heroes, the rate in which he could potentially get a Shadow Blade or even an AC is just absolutely devastating, and he would just absolutely roll through all of these heroes if he was able to get close to them. But we're going to have the Earthshaker sort of come close up and personal with the Slaughter. The catch is now onto him. He's taking a lot of damage from these heroes. The slow from the Ray Fire Blast is enough to keep the Slaughter back, but
that was quite a beautiful Fisher, to be honest. And this Mirana was busy trying to arrow the Doom on bottom, and now she's gonna try to arrow the TA in mid. And if one of those arrows land, of course you always have that chance of an arrow hitting. It's always gonna be devastating, but it's so hard hitting these arrows at daytime because you see them coming long while ago.
yeah, definitely. And the fact that the TA would probably is more likely to have the refraction up, so still would evade the damage of the arrow, which is actually a very, very big deal.
So this Mirana is probably going top again to help that Red King out. I mean, if you consider the positioning of the Red King right now, it tells you about that top lane. He cannot even go close to the creeps right now. He has to stay out of his clearance range, and until his Shaker is back, until the Mirana is back, they can try some action. And even then, it's gonna be super hard with the Grave, with the disruption being up at any time. And I think Slaughter's gonna go for a dagger this game. And with that jump initiation by Slaughter, they're gonna really struggle on this top lane. Refking, of course, having what?
I was just absolutely quickly realised the implications of having the amplified damage plus. Oh, the Valkyrie's going to take that out of the Sunstrike. It's going to be able to pick up the kills on both the Dazzle and the Shadow Demon, but that would have been really helpful for the Invoker to be able to pick up a kill there. That was a 4-man rotation. Wraith King was able to pick up the Dazzle as well.
That was a nice rotation by Northern Lions. I think that vacuum was still a great idea because it pulled them behind the fissure. So yes, that Sunstrike not hitting, but still I think you get more out of it. So I definitely agree with that Darkseer. They're pulling them together. So I think it was a nice move. And Invoker, of course, not having the easiest time of his life against that TA, but he's still gonna recover at some point because he's like not super far down. He's actually quite even up with the last hits and doubles the denies of TA.
The Dazzle wasn't even able to get off the heal onto the Slardar, just through the amount of stuns that were coming the way from Northern Lions.
Yes, and last game PSL did not have a single stun, and Northern Lions telling them, okay, look, now we have 5 stuns here, and or even 6 if you count the triple stun by the Shaker, and there's no TPing out gonna happen. And we have a dive in the mid. Oh no, she decides against it. So she didn't want to tank up the tower with the cold snap, and the Void Spirit's dealing too much damage. And this Doom's still having such a great time on the bottom lane. He's just farming, and it's gonna work out for them so great. He always
got full Vlads.
Yes, he certainly has a lot of farm. The only problem right now, what he's struggling with, is his limited mana pool, of course. But maybe he's looking into some drums or some other mana items, so he might be able to, you know, cast his Doom at least.
Yeah, but Vlad's is going to help, obviously, with the sort of small mana regen you get from the Basilius component. And the thing is, he's able to sort of sustain the lane. He's going to get flanked by the Earthshaker. Wants to get off that fissure block, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, nice vacuum with the Enchanter and the Aftershock stun just to bring him into the Sunstrike.
And that was actually close. He could have accidentally pulled the creeps into the Sunstrike, and then the damage would be negated, of course. But I think that was really good timing by Darkseer there, and he knew pull now or never, and he did it, and it was a really great execution. And this little rotation by the Shaker down here really hurt the Doom right now, because of course he just got his Vladimir, so he didn't lose that much money. But it's always painful to die in these early stages, of course.
Yeah, especially if he's got the Doom off cooldown right now. Midas was still on cooldown, so that wasn't too much of an issue. They're going to trade tier 1 towers. And that should be very close to the blink for Slardar. Yeah, 150 gold away from that. And then on the TA, we are actually building the drums onto her. So going for that sort of race car build for the TA. This is the sort of point where I like to see a Yasha being picked up next.
Yeah, certainly. Yasha is a really good item pick up for TA. And if she makes this dives happen together with the Slardar, if Slardar blinks in and TA just walks up to him with that high move speed, with the amplified damage from Slardar and with the melt hit, it's gonna be a really tough time for Northern Lions sustaining through that. That's quite interesting, having 50% win rate when they're paired against each other. Oh, there was a nice arrow onto the Dazzle there, and then with the Sunstrike follow up, they try to, oh nice for sure, they just evaporate that Dazzle from the surface of this map, and that was a really great pick off. And there it is, you know, you can just try arrowing, and the first 10 don't hit, and if you get one arrow happening, then it's like a secured kill. And another arrow hits on top of the
Shadow Demon into the vacuum. What a beautiful vac. Straight to the crush on the Slardar, but the Shadow Demon's already gone down.
And they don't want to chase this, they just want to take this tower, get a little bit back inside the money, and just happening. Oh, the Slardar? Okay, never mind. But that gold advantage of PSL right now is starting to plummet. And if they pick up this tier 1 tower, I think they're almost even now after these kills they picked up just now. And this Doom is trading on the bottom lane, but is he fast enough? That's the question. Are there TPs up who could defend bottom lane? Oh, we have a nice jump onto the Mirana there by the Slaughter, and she gets forced up the way by the Invoker, and wow, and great Echo Slam hitting every one of the Radiant team there, and this Shadow Demon is certainly gonna fall as well, and this Slaughter died in the meantime, and now this TA is chasing the Invoker, but with the Cold Snap up in the tower, she cannot just melt away, and she's just gonna die right there in that dive, and all that stands is the Doom, who just dies against the Red King with his Iron Shell. And Shaker's still
dying at the Darkseer. That's a full team wipe against PSL. NorthernLions really dominating this first game, this second game.
Yes, they came into the game with the confidence of the first game. They were really in the role, and they know what PSL is playing all about right now, and they're really good in countering it. So this Shaker is actually quite low.
Yeah, he was just chasing after the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon just kept getting off the poison stacks onto him. Yeah,
but it's a nice farm for Shaker right now. After this team fight, he's sitting on 1.4k gold. If this guy has his dagger, then the team fights will happen eventually. And as I said before, PSL is trying to or should be trying to get the pickoffs and not fight head on. Like the Doom tried to push away the bottom tower while this team fight was happening. And right now, I think it's better for PSL trading towers away than defending their towers, because they don't really have anything to offer against the teamfight power. With a nice
into the wall, into the Fissure. Now the Sunshine is going to hit over the top. It was able to pick off the Dazzle. He's not able to get up in his spell. Flash is running low, but nice mechanism use from the Darkseer is going to keep him up. And now they're all just running scared. The Star actually came back into the fight, was able to pick off the Mirana. Now the Red Fire Blast goes onto the Slaughter. They're going to see if they can move him away. Meanwhile, at the back of the fight, the Earthshakers is going through the heroes, actually picked off by the Templar Assassin. Darkseer is going ham onto the Doom, and it's going to run straight into the loving arms of this TA and get off that one hit. Double kill for the TA. Where's the Slaughter gone? Slaughter was able to escape away from the Wraith King in that. I imagine overnight, just the urn from the Shadow Demon was able to keep him alive. But that was a very, very nice fight actually for PSL.
Yes, they did what I say before in a different fashion. They split up the team fight, tried to drag everyone as far as they could out of each other, so they could not have this team fight potential right there. And yeah, with dragging them out, they have this single target power, and well, Mirana and TA are just dancing around each other. Now they find out there's each other, and with that dagger she can actually chase down that Mirana, and this Mirana is certainly gonna fall.
That is absolutely unreal. And you're saying just how much damage a TA does just with a dagger. It's absolutely insane amounts.
Yes, with level 13 on that TA, she's certainly gonna melt through supports, melt through. Even the Darkseer and the Wraith King are not safe with that Slaughter armor amplify, like the amplify damage. Yes, I was mixing armor amplify and damage reduction. It was something. Yeah.
What happened in that fight was exactly what you said PSL's lineup was. It was pick off. After the initial vacuum into the wall, they managed to split up, run different directions, and then they broke up the fight. There's a skirmish going on here with the TA and the Earthshaker. The Darkseer and the Doom were sort of fighting around here. The Wraith King chased the Shadow Demon and Slaughter up there, and they split up the fight and they took the pickoffs, and the TA walked out with a double kill, and the Slaughter was able to live.
Yes, certainly, and that's what they need to do. They cannot pressure a tower and try to win the team fight. They need to move around the enemy team, try to avoid greater amounts of people there, and this Invoker is certainly gonna die here.
Yeah, and a nice Brave onto the Slaughter is going to keep him alive. They're going to see if they can go onto the Wraith King, but they need to be careful of the Darkseer. The Slaughter's actually being chased right now. He's going to have a blink in 1 second. Actually gets the crush onto the Wraith King while he's walking away. We have the Moonlight Shadow as a reinitiation. A point-blank arrow from the Mirana is going to be able to keep take down the Slaughter. The dust does get onto these heroes. The Roshan's going to start wailing away at the Mirana. And they are going to see if T actually jumps onto the Mirana, picking off her. Shadow Demons are running low from the Darkseer. Now the TA is going to be having a little Barney with all these heroes. The Doom goes.
There comes in the Doom.
No more Surge.
This Doom was not taking part of this team fight for a long time here, and now that he came in, a nice disruption there, saving that TA from ticking down from the stun, and even with the Grave, I think they can take this Wraith King down once more. Yeah. And with the Blade Mail on, this TA should not hit him right now. And now the Blade Mail is gone, she's gonna turn around one hit with the Shadow Demon Soul Catcher, and again they dragged out the team fight, they split up, and they picked off the heroes one by one. And NorthernLions really need to care to not let that happen. They need to stick together, they need to move as a unit, else they're just gonna be picked off like we just saw. That was a nice initiation by the starter there, and he even came out with the Grave. And they were not really moving as a unit, NorthernLions that is, and it really hurt them badly in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things I sort of, even with the Wraith King sort of next to the Invoker invisible, they still weren't able to do enough to him. Obviously with the Dazzle there to throw out the Grave, they just couldn't kill him. He walked away. He ended up looping round the Dire Jungle, then jumping back in for another stun, and then just running away, and ended up just going to farm up on the top.
Yes, I think the Slaughter, didn't he die against the Mirana?
No, yes, no, of course he did. He did die to the Miranda. My mistake. Point blank arrow. He did actually die.
Oh, there's the names of the team of NorthernLions. So it's Flash, Inuyasha, Kozo, Symbol, and SK so far on the banners. So I'm gonna quickly look through the names. So Flash, Inuyasha, Cyrek is.
I imagine it could be SK.
Yeah, probably, and whatever.
We have a jump in. They're looking for the Earthshaker. He's already blinked away into the trees.
And we have dagger on Doom, we have a dagger on Slaughter, we have a dagger on TA. So whenever someone is spotted on the map, they have a triple dagger to initiate on them, and that's the point where it gets really scary for NorthernLions. So whenever you're farming somewhere, you have to always be aware of that's happening. And he gets out his Blade Mail, but it's not gonna happen with the slow of the Shadow Demon and the TA jumping in and the Reincarnation not being ready yet. With all that armor being gone, it's so fast that they die. And that was the Wraith King, that was their carry, that was the most tanky character in their team, I think. Even the Darkseer with the mech having maybe a chance of competing with him, but it's just so painful to watch having your carry like evaporate in a matter of 2 seconds.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yep. For the flip side of the NorthernLions, they're still sort of holding tight. You've got the Invoker now with the Necro 3. You've got the Earthshaker who's trying to get the damage in. Does get a nice Echo Slam, but the Vacuums afterwards, the wall actually doesn't get any loot in it except the Slaughter, and they're going to be able to walk away with that. The Dazzle is trying to escape from the Darkseer and Mirana, but now the TA is in, just laying damage onto the Mirana. The Slaughter illusion picks off the Dazzle actually. They're still going for the Mirana. Absolutely nuked down by the TA. But on the top side, the Doom just ran at the Invoker and was able to pick him down. And now they're even going for the Darkseer. Now with the Purge, they were able to pick him off. That's a double kill for this TA. Full BKB when she gets that from the Courier.
They have Weave, they have Amplify damage, and they have Melt Hit. It's if you have armor, no matter how much, you're gonna lose it. And that's so painful that this TA can basically 3-hit the Wraith King when the Weave's ticked up a little bit with the Amplify damage and with the Melt Hit. I think that's why this Wraith King picked up a Blade Mail, because when this TA hits him without Refraction being up with a Melt Hit, I think she's half. Because that's how much damage she deals. And yes, Blade Mail is a nice item to counter all this minus armor aggression, but then again it's your carry and you really want to have some really decent items on this carry too.
Yeah, like you said, Tia has a BKB now.
Yeah, she's certainly not gonna die, and even with the Blade Mail now, if she activates the Blade Mail, she activates the BKB and she doesn't really care, and that's a wasted item against TA now. And if this starter gets up a BKB as well, and he's certainly close to it, he just needs 1,300 more, and with double BKBs up, this Invoker turns out to be useless, this Shaker is useless, this Darkseer is useless, and it's gonna be a really tough time for NorthernLions when there's double BKB out, and they really should, like, PSL should really look into getting some more pick-off, like 2 or 3, and then take Roshan, which will fall in a matter of seconds, and then they can pursue and push because of their massive gold advantage. I mean, look at the gold graph. We had that little slip off when the top fight happened, and the gold advantage went a little bit through to NorthernLions there, but right now it's piling up to 10k, and that really shows what this pick-off power is capable of.
Yep, and for the Doom, he's now moving into that AC. So even more minus armor, even more tank ability, even more attack speed for these heroes. We're gonna have a TA roaming up with the Invis rune and seeing where he's where he's wanting to go really. But like you were saying, yeah, they could easily take the Roshan.
What is your suggestion for an item for this Wrath King right now? He picked up a dagger, but what do you think? What do you think is his next item he should pick up? Because against this team, it's certainly hard.
Actually, they're gonna jump in and nice blink away from the Darkseid. He's gonna get doomed, but they're still chasing it. There's so much movement speed available for them. The Darkseid's completely out of this fight, and they should just be able to take the tier 2. The Invoker was able to TP back to the tier 2.
Oh, the Doom was so close of taking him down. Like one more tick and this Darkseid would have been dead. And they didn't even try to like go with him and see if they need to deny him. But it was like either quite well calculated or lucky, depends. And yeah, this Doom is quite wasted, but does it matter? That's the question here.
And referring to what you say, I think the sort of rating needs to go for a sort of armor orientated item. Yeah, he's got plus 8 at the moment when he's near the mechanism, so it's on 14. But you've also got about minus 15 from the weave. You've got minus 20 from the amplified damage when that ends up being plus minus 7 from the meld, and then another minus 5 from the AC. So he's going to be at minus. He's going to have absolutely no physical reduction at any point during these fights.
Yes, certainly. I think even a heart would not work out great here. And the funny thing about this current engagement is that the NorthernLions are actually the ones to try the first Roshan here in this game, and we actually called the first Roshan for PSL here. They waited really long with that Roshan, and this gives a little bit of an edge to NorthernLions, because now with that Aegis up they can try to make a team fight happen. But with that big gold advantage, with the big items up on PSL, it's gonna be really hard to actually fight into this, because now they, with all the pickups they had, they certainly have the items to now fight in a team fight. And this Wrath King has Blade Mail Dagger, and that's like auto hit damage wise nothing, and armor wise it's not a lot. And with the BKBs up on TA and Slaughter, not quite yet. Oh, we have an engagement on the Invoker, who has the Aegis right now. And this Slaughter is starting to melt, so we need that Grave up, and the Grave actually hits on him. Echo Slam quite not out yet. Now the Echo Slam comes in, but does hit on one hero, I think. And Slaughter bites back in this fight with the TA still up on full HP, with the Doom having his having used his Doom already, TA having used the BKB already, but Invoker is half HP. Shaker has no Echo Slam anymore, and Darkseid has no wall anymore, and they're chasing down this Invoker. With nice Fisher there to stop down the chase, but with 3 daggers and TA traps it's really not gonna be possible. Oh, a nice surge for stuff into TP there with the Ghost Walk, so he escapes at all, but this Darkseid now really is in quite some danger. With the surge, he's trying to dagger out there, but this Doom does not allow it to dagger. Slaughter meanwhile jumping onto the Mirana. Mirana gonna be able to leap her out.
Oh, the Darkseid is able to dagger into the trees. Obviously the Slaughter trying to chase onto the Mirana, and does know where he is able to get off the crush, but he's not in range, and now he's in range of the creep of the Sunstrike, and boom, down he goes.
Well, there was a little bit of an overcommitment. He didn't think about that Sunstrike Wrath King combo coming out there, and Slaughter bought back and died again, but of the cost of this Wrath King staying there, now he has his reincarnation is gonna be used, and this TA able with that 4-man combo is gonna be able to chase him down. But there's all heroes up again for Dire Side. A nice vacuum, but no follow-up right there. So with the defensive weave up, they can just dive the tower without taking any damage right now, and there's not a lot of skills up for the Dire team. They did not even lose the Aegis, I think. Yes, they still have the Aegis up, so they can try this again at some point when their ultimates are up again, when the Echo Slam is up, when the wall is up. The wall is actually up again, so I think they should wait for the reincarnation to be up again in 2 minutes, and then they might start again, because right now they have quite a double Aegis, and yeah, they might to push again. The problem is the time is against them. With TA, Slaughter, Doom, and the Dazzle, of course, it's always hard to to think, okay, we can lean back and take some time until our ultis are up again. But this Doom with the Midas, with the Devour, is definitely gonna farm a lot, and this Slaughter soon having his BKB, even though he just bought back, so I think his BKB is still a little bit time away. So he needs to farm up his BKB, but they don't really want to give Slaughter the time to farm up his BKB.
Yeah, all the time that this Slaughter is trying to farm his BKB, it's sort of slowing down the item progression for this TA, who's actually really their driving force. Same with the Doom, who is actually able to pick up achievements and is actually quite... this Doom is extremely farmed.
Oh yeah, this Doom has a lot of items to offer right now. And we actually have a Mithril Hammer picked up by the Red King. On a strength hero, if you're going for the BKB, I think an Ogre Club is always better. It still gives you like a decent amount of damage, it gives you life. I think it's a little bit better to start with the Ogre Club, especially if you're behind. But I guess that just goes back to the taste. If you want to have that little bit more burst damage from your crits, then yeah, just go ahead and try it. I don't really like... I'm not playing right now, so it's not my decision to make.
And we are going to take down the tier 2. They will pop the glyph. Radiant also have their glyph. So no, they want to save it for the tier 3. Now the tier 3, there is no glyph up here for NorthernLions. They're just going to sort of melt their way through these.
Radiant's top tower is under
Moonlight
attack.
Shadow is activated to get themselves in, and they need to be careful of the Echo Slam.
Oh yeah, certainly. If they stack up on that little choke, it's gonna be a really massive Echo Slam. And we actually have two heroes sneaking up behind them with the arrow, with the Darkseer. Oh, they initiate on the Dazzle, and this Dazzle needs to be careful right now. Nice defensive disruption. We have a vacuum into a wall on their TA, but having the BKB up, they're still chasing the Dazzle with the Grave. He's still certainly alive, and the heroes, the pick-off heroes of PSL are really working down the carries, and basically everyone who is not running away is dying to that big amount of minus armor. We still have that Echo Slam up who can still work out, and he's looking to make that Echo Slam happening now, exploding that Slaughter. They're chasing down Mirana. Mirana's juking them quite nicely, but Tia gets the last hit up on her, and with the Shivas activated, this nice defending blast actually after the BKB, and the Doom is actually blocked with the Fissure, and they're getting actually a team-wide. NorthernLions completely turning this fight around, and Shaker just got a godlike strike from the TA, and the Invoker got a dominating strike from the Doom, and that was a really nice defense. It looked really dicey for them, but with that Aegis still up on the Invoker, they can just turn to PSL's base now and try to at least get some towers down, deal some damage. And Reincarnation is used, of course, but it's gonna be up in like 2 minutes again, so it was a really nice fight. They used that Wrath King to soak up a lot of damage while making that team fight happen. Of course, Mirana died in the meantime, but Slaughter picking up his BKB right now because he didn't have to buy back right now. Might be quite huge because Echo Slam is down, Moonlight Shadow is down, Wall is down. There's not much they can offer. I think they're gonna push this tier 2 and then retreat safely. And even with that Aegis up, they cannot really offer anything for a fight right now, so they're gonna retreat to safety, having a lot of money now in their bags. If you see that gold graph, it's like immediately plummeting down towards Dire.
Yeah, we've got 3100 gold up on the Darkseer, 1300 up onto the Shaker. The Invoker just finished off on Lincoln's. The Maelstrom was actually finished by the Wraith King, so I think this is actually the Eternal Envy build, which he very much liked playing as a Blink Blade Mail into Maelstrom.
The Wraith King, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think someone else did it before Eternal Envy did it, but yeah, certainly. I think Eternal Envy likes this build a lot. And against this team, what they're playing right now, with so much burst damage, it's really nice having that Blade Mail up, of course. But you need the tank ability to actually make use of that Blade Mail. It doesn't really matter if you activate a Blade Mail and you die while the enemies have their BKB up, of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the BKBs are only actually the Slaughter is able to finish off his BKB. The Doom has 3,400 gold and a Devour and a Midas ready. So yes, he'll be able to pick up a BKB. Probably sell his drum and pick up that.
So we have... Oh, Darkseer actually bought back in that fight, and Mirana did as well. I did not really see that happening in that super big fight, like happening all over there. So It is still a win for the dire side, of course. NorthernLions coming up ahead, but they had some costs with it, so that's good to know for PSL that there were buybacks happening.
Yeah, and there's lots of scribbling going on from the side of NorthernLions, I assume. But one of the sort of unspoken heroes I've got to say that is for NorthernLions is Inuyasha. He's kept up his farm, topping the last hit board, got his Necro, got his Lincolns, got his Force Staff, and he's just getting off. He's really patient with his combos. Always gets at least 2 or 3 in the Meteor into Deafening Blast, and really melts down all of their damage.
And that Deafening Blast is playing a really big role. After that BKBs, when the BKBs were off, that TA needs to still keep hitting. The Slaughter needs to be keeping hitting, you know. And if that Deafening Blast is muting them for such a long time, it's really plummeting the damage of PSL, because all their damage right now relies on auto hits. And I think this Red King looks into AC right now, because he needs that armor. He needs that armor for his team. And if you do not have a counter AC to a Slaughter or a Doom, who's potentially gonna pick up an AC, but I think we're gonna have another fight commencing now.
Here we go, and then the initiation in from the Red King. We are getting a big back into the Echo, into the Meteor Deafening Blaster, instant double kill. The BKBs are going now. The Doom is actually falling very, very quickly to the cold snap. He didn't actually pick up his BKB before this fight, and I think that was a big mistake coming out from him. The TA was actually just nuked down from the Wraith King and the Dark Seer.
That was a beautiful fight execution by NorthernLions. They were on point with their skills. They hit everything, and PSL is a little bit overcommitting to the pressure right now. They really want to make something happen, bring down the base, because they think their time is gone, or it's gonna be gone soon. But I think they could bring this game to the late game and win this still. So I don't know, creating too much pressure for your own team, saying we need to push now, might be a bad mistake for yourself, because we had that situations when we thought we have to make something happen and created too much pressure on ourselves. So having your captain calming you down and saying, okay, chill out, okay, we have a fight commencing, I think.
Yeah, and a jump in from the Doom, getting the Doom off onto the Earthshaker. His Echo Slam's still down for another 60 seconds. The Wraith King is popped, but the TA is popped despite the combo from the Invoker, doing absolute damage. Wraith King's back in, lands a blast onto the Doom. The Vikings missed by the nice defensive destruction coming from the Shadow Demon.
And again, it's we just had this Blade Mail working against the TA. She didn't activate the BKB, she hit into the Blade Mail with a melt hit twice, and she just evaporated against it, so it was really working out. So we have them waiting for the Roshan right now. Unfortunately, it still leaves, I think, 1.5 minutes? Or is that 2.5 minutes?
That is, I think it's about 1:15.
Okay, so they were waiting for this Roshan to happen, but TA is gonna be up until then, and if they sniff this out, they might take a team fight here with the BKBs up. With Mirana she needs to retreat right now, heal up. The Shaker is quite low on mana, so he has either the Echo Slam or the Fisher. He realizes he needs to go regen up some mana, so if this Roshan respawns and Radiant takes the Roshan and with an Aegis up on the TA, this could completely turn around again.
Yeah, and it's really all on the line here. I think both of these teams have the capability to take this game quite comfortably, but it really depends how the next fight goes.
Yeah, I think the next fight is gonna tell a lot about this game, what's going on next, because either you win a fight, get Roshan, or you get Roshan and win a fight, or well, you get an Aegis and still lose the fight due to some really good execution, like we already saw by NorthernLions, or there's a lot of stuff that can happen. And actually the Starstorm, if they had the eyes on there, they could see they're smoked up, but
an easy shot.
They realize Roshan is back.
Yeah, they throw out the arrow into Roshan, but the Radiant they have to know that this is going to be happening. The Doom has no buyback And I think this is a mistake from the Doom to have that 3,000 gold up on him. He's going to get a crush only onto the Wraith King. They're going to try and take him down before the fight begins. Try and see if they can melt him down again. The BKB's really messing with the Invoker's plans to get through this damage. The Invoker's actually going to fall straight away. 1,000 gold up on him. Now they're trying to go for the other heroes. They're actually able to pick off the TA with the Necro Books and the Wall Illusions. The Sada now TPing away, and they're going to try and back off from this Roshan. But they lost the Shadow Demon and the Dazzle at the back of that. The Doom was able to walk away. But now they can just go back into this. The Evoker brought back into the fray, and now they're just going to take this Roshan.
And killing the Red King once is only paying off if you kill him twice on this high level, because this reincarnation is going to be back for sure in the next fight. And if this Invoker picks up the Aegis again, they have two lives on each of those, and actually no one's going to take the Aegis.
I think it should be the Invoker, yeah, definitely. Okay. He does a lot of work right now. Level 20 up on him. He's able to get off so many spells that are useful just throughout the fight.
Let's see, we have the Doom. He didn't really pick up any more items, I think. He got his BKB, and since then his farm really went down. He sold his Midas, and the only thing he has right now is the Devourer. Still a lot of farm could come in, but all the fights they lost really hurt this Doom's economy right now.
Yeah, especially he had to buy back in one of the previous fights, and I think that really cut down how much gold he was able to pick up.
So we had a buyback by this TA, we had a buyback by Doom, and we actually had a buyback by Invoker, I think. So buyback is still down for Doom and TA and Invoker, so if anything happens here, if this Doom or the TA die prematurely, this fight might just cost Rex then.
Yeah, they really obviously what buybacks do we actually have on these heroes? We have it on the Slaughter and the Shadow Demon. But you really want that buyback on the TA. He's actually going for that Desolator, but just not enough farm at the moment for her. This is the point where TA really needs the items to become more effective. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be activated, and they're going to go for a big play. They're going to see if they can get a vacuum. What a vacuum! Into the Echo Slam, now into the Fissure, and they're just all these heroes are melting. Actually, no, the Dire heroes are all melting in the middle. Even with the wall in action, they're actually able to survive in this. The Sada maybe extending way too far, goes into the fray and needs to back out where the Yules is there from the Mirana, getting him down. They're going to get the Ice Wall up on him. The nice Grave out from the Dazzle is going to keep him alive. The Mirana diving into the base will be able to take him off, but that's the gem lost. And they're going to keep going on to these other heroes, see if they're able to get them. The Doom blinks in very, very aggressively. And I think they just need to sort of cut their losses and back out. The Dazzle could be very, very close to die here. I was being chased by that Necro Creep. Now we have the gem picked up, and I think that was a bigger extension from the Mirana in that fight. Really don't want to give away that gem at this point.
I have to commend Slada, Doom, and TA. All three of those really on top of their mind right now. When the Darkseer went into vacuum, they immediately threw up that BKB, making that Echo Slam entirely useless, and that was a major part why they won this fight. If they did not like react immediately, I think this fight would have gone into NorthernLions' favor, and that was a really nice reaction time there. So let's see, the Doom actually sitting on 2k gold again, so this fight really helped him out, and even the Shadow Demon sitting on 2k gold, the Dazzle actually going for a Hellbird, I think, to stop that Wrath King from hitting. Let's see, we have a Hex up on the Darkseer right now, and the Mask of Madness actually picked up by the Doom. And a Desolator. Okay, there's like 200,000 items being purchased right now after this fight. For each team there's a lot of gold that was just used, so we actually might not have a buyback on anyone right now. Okay, we have one on Shaker, we have on Slada, Mirana, and Shadow Demon, but that's it. So if any one of these cores dies, unless Slada, then it's gonna be a really tough time for either team, depending on who died, of course.
Yeah, they've put the gem onto Slada, so they're going to be able to sort of scout out for the Moonlight Shadow. The Deso is completed on the TA, so that's really nice for her. Really needs that extra sort of damage.
And we have a nice initiation with a hex.
The actually did go down. These BKBs are really sort of paying off for the side of PSL, but the Wraith King is just going ham in the middle of this. Oh, the Shadow Wave from the side from Dazzle is going to be able to pick him off, but let's see if they're able to actually kill off the Shadow Demon. A nice destruction and be able to grab him there. And now the trap from the TA.
Slatterbot actually back.
What an arrow landing up onto the TA. A big crush coming in from the Slaughter. The instant Yules up there from the Rana. Throw him up into the air, into the Hex. Is that a Hex? Yeah, there's
And
a
this
Hex
is a GG call. NorthernLions coming up on top, but this was such a close game. Both of these teams really knew how to play this out, and it was such a pleasure to watch this happening.
This was an absolutely fantastic game out of both teams. PSL really held on to that. Well, I thought the game was completely gone. They managed to keep their cool and just get a few fights and sort of pulled the game back. Obviously, they just wasn't enough to sort of swing the game around, unfortunately.
Yes, but it was a really nice game from both of them. They really knew what they picked in the lineups, and they really knew how to play it out. NorthernLions with some really beautiful combos came a little bit on top, and that's what won them the game. So yes, I'm really looking forward to the Invitational where we see these two teams again, and I'm curious how they cope up against the really good teams that we have there, with Monomaniac, 4FC being there, Crush's team Nemesis, I think, and
we have Nemesis. We've got couple UK teams. We've also got obviously Mind Sanity. We've got X and D, who have performed quite well, I think in sort of the JDL and that. Also, obviously, Blood Shall Be Spilled, one of the sort of premier Greek teams. So really taking good teams from all over Europe and bring them all together, and we'll see how well they can perform. But it's going to be an absolutely awesome start to the Invitational. We'll be beginning on the 28th, which is a Saturday. We're beginning at 2 PM or 1400 CEST, and we're going to have a bunch of games going on that day. On the first day, we will be having 12 games happening. On the second day, we'll actually have the 18. So tune in to what you can. All of the games will be listed, and we will have all the streams sort of listed on our websites for which games at all times.
So I'm really looking forward to this Invitational. I really want to see what's happening there, and until then, thanks for watching and tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the games as much as we did, and see you around.
Good night.